when did you guys decide? Because you homeschool your children, right? Or all of them, or some of them?
We did in the beginning. We started homeschooling all of them, and then as they got older, we kind of always said that we'd kind of go by the child and what was best for them. And our oldest asked if he could go full time. We kind of start out. I do the base of their curriculum at home, but then we go to a school in the area for band, choir, art, things that I can't do, gym, PE.
Okay.
Yeah, typically larger group activities.
But yeah, so they've been going there part-time since they were young. And then when our oldest was, I think it would have been his sophomore year. Well, his sophomore year was his first year.
Okay.
He went full-time. He's a senior this year.
Okay.
Senior.
Yeah. So he's been going full-time a few years now, and our next two in line started this year going full-time. So I only have two at home.
So do you homeschool because you're really religious, or you hate the government?
Yes, and neither.
We
all of the above and none?
No, and yes. The time commitment and the resource commitment. I mean, because when you go to public school, your taxes do provide, if you pay them or whatever, a significant amount of investment in your children. Whether you like how the investment turns out is a whole different question than whether they put it in. I mean, they definitely do spend a lot per child. They build these buildings, they hire administrators, and occasionally they have a charity case with a teacher or two. But they do those things, and so once you don't have that, and you're providing all of the resources, you're providing the curriculum, you're providing the time, you're providing the instruction, you're providing the janitorial services and the lunch services, and all of the school supplies that you buy a lot of school supplies every year for your kids, but you also are contributed by what the school has: desks, chairs, space, like all that stuff kind of overlook, but it's all figured in to what you have to provide.
But what about all the taxes you're already paying?
The time is what I was like the most frustrating part was, in addition to me working full time, then I also had to set aside time to instruct my my stepdaughter and all of that. It was it was a big time commitment too.
Yep, and fortunately, we've been able to be a single income house for our whole
you didn't
marriage.
have a missing brackets at home.
And not everyone can do that. Like everybody's situation is different, but we were very fortunate to be able to do that kind of from the start. And we had planned to homeschool. Well, we didn't really plan it, did we?
It started with our oldest, who he started reading on his own when he was 2. And I got nervous that he would be in trouble a lot in school.
Because he was reading ahead of time?
Well,
because he got bored really easily.
Right.
Like he would just start doing his things, and then when he was done, he was like,
yeah, he was reading at 2 years old. He was typing out words not long after. He might have still been 2. And so the hard thing is, like, what do you do in 4 years when he's going to go into kindergarten and learn letters? It's like he's already typing words. Like this was and they weren't unintelligible. I mean, they were he would sit on my computer and he would message my dad.
So you had like eyes on like the Scholastic spelling bee. You're like, we're gonna homeschool and we're gonna go the distance with this kid, right?
No, you can't do a spelling bee because India exists, and you'll never beat out the exports. Yeah. But no, it's just like
stupid H1 visas or whatever the hell they are.
Smartest people.
I think Lady Raggets and I think I can confidently say both of us were above grade level for much of our schooling. And I mean, speaking from my experience, that didn't meet out. Don't worry, I was not a high achiever in school by the end.
I was.
She was, but you do when you're ahead of grade level and you already have the information, your brain wanders and you become distracting and you get in trouble. And well, I did. Maybe you
That
didn't.
was my problem.
have
I
to
was
be a
too smart for
perfectionist.
school.
Is that what your mom
didn't-
told you? Mrs. Helm, don't lie to him.
Yeah, it wasn't about being too smart or anything. It's just the
It just
information
learns
had come-
differently. Yeah.
Well, and I had a lot of opportunities as a kid, and my parents were great communicators, and so like and they weren't always around, but even when they weren't around, someone was. Both of my parents worked throughout my entire time until I was an adult, and
Wow.
but when they were working, my grandmother would take care of me because she lived just a couple miles away in Houston, so she would pick me up from school. So I was always around, an adult, no matter what was going on, and an adult who is giving you attention, that really changes a lot. And I think that's one of the biggest advantages of homeschooling in general, is that you have an adult who's paying attention and communicating at a level that is above what the child is aware of, and so they're constantly learning and just absorbing during those earlier years when they're kind of a sponge.
What do you think of the idea that well, you guys do the extracurricular stuff in group settings, so the kids get some socialization skills that way, right?
Yeah.
That's
Our kids are highly socialized.
Aren't social skills highly overrated?
No, here's the thing.
No.
When
Yes,
when,
I'm going to
remember-
argue with you, lawyer, on this in a minute, but I'll let you say your piece or whatever.
Okay.
Your opening statement.
Yeah, here's my opening statement. So as an attorney, I have to deal with people from all walks of life, and I have to convince them from all walks
His
of
criminal
life that I'm right.
defendants are always easier to deal with if they went to public schools.
Now,
Especially if you went to a low
when I
performing
was in
public school.
when I was in school, I socialized with a bunch of different people. I didn't just like stick with one little group of people, which gave me the ability to move in and out of different social groups and talk to different people on their levels and all of that stuff. That socialization that I learned in middle school and high school, I use every single day. I don't use the math class that I took in high school. So obviously I'm a lawyer, right? So that's why I say the socialization is important. because it developed a skill that I was able to carry into my profession.
I would argue you might have been born with that skill. That's a personality trait, not something you learn. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, you're born good at talking to criminals. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Correct.
You're both
That's
wrong.
actually, that's
No.
funny. One of I don't know about for Nick, but for me, within our homeschooling, it was more important to me that the kids learn how to find information or be, what kind of person that they are, character traits, character development. I would rather focus on that than spelling tests and math quizzes and the things that, yes, they're going to do them and I'm going to make them do them, but that was really my focus. Was I want to create good people, and then they can learn how to fill up their body. And actually they're so good at going out and finding information now. Like I can't find information. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. So I'll just go to the kids and I'm like, hey, I need to find out blah, blah, blah. Find it for me. And they Google it for me. They're better at it than I am. They're better at technology than I am.
I was having a conversation with this other attorney in my office just the other day about how we all have, Google machines in our pockets these days, and how I kind of miss the not knowing sometimes. We were debating something. I can't remember what we were talking about. We were debating. We were like, no, it was this. No, it was that. And after like 15 minutes, we both realized like we could just Google it and find out, who's right. But we kind of miss the back and forth because you could just look in your pocket and Google. Do you think kids these days?
You just lie. You just lie about it. That's the best part.
That's true.
But do you think kids
BSing.
these days are missing out on that sort of conversational skill and
I guess
just talking about things?
The
It really
persuasive
depends on
aspect of talking.
It depends on the environment that they're in and who they're around and all that stuff. Our kids, they have iPads, but they don't have phones. And until they're significantly older. And so, they may have an iPad on them, but they're not pulling out a phone everywhere they are, and Googling everything. And I think they.
Oh, I actually meant looking up in books.
Oh, wow.
That's how dumb I am. No, I make them
No,
look things
that's
up
not
in
dumb.
like
We're the dumb
textbooks.
ones for assuming that you were talking about the
No,
internet.
I didn't even think about it because I don't do technology.
I love it.
She doesn't know how to Google. Like she doesn't.
I can Google.
You mean
and
so
just
she's
add
making
it.
her kids read? Oh, that's what a horrible mother you are.
I teach
still
them
look-
cursive too. Our 10-year-old, a few years back, her favorite book was her dictionary. Who gave her that dictionary? I don't even. Oh, it was somebody from church.
Yeah.
Someone from church got her a dictionary because he found out that she was homeschooled, and he and his like Knights Chamber group or something.
Knights of Columbus.
Yeah, Knights of
Oh,
Columbus.
so you are Catholic.
No.
No,
Okay,
it was
sorry,
just
we
this
had this
guy, just this
okay.
old guy in church.
Okay.
But he was talking about how his group like went to all the public schools and they brought dictionaries for all of the third graders at the time. Now she's in 5th grade, but he was so excited to find a homeschool child so that he could give her a dictionary personally, and she was so excited. Oh, it's a full dictionary. Like,
well, it is missing a couple words. It's missing contraception.
no,
It's missing homosexuality.
oh my gosh.
So I want to mildly push back before I lose the topic on homeschooling and socialization. There's a bunch of different ways to do homeschooling. Our kids are always very connected to their community through our church. It was one thing. And then through the activities that they do, violin, piano, dance, these things always had them around a whole bunch of different groups of kids with a whole bunch of different unique social cliques within all of them. So that's one way we overcame that. And I think that's possible. Now, I think a lot of people think of homeschooling as very much always at home with the same influences around them. And that's not how we did it. That doesn't mean that's not how other people, choose to do it or whatever. But one of the things I'll say, and separate from all that, I came to this conclusion years and years ago, and I think before we even had children, but one of my high school classmates was talking about homeschooling. This is on Facebook. Talking about homeschool kids and their social awkwardness, etc. And he was talking particularly about how they're not socialized through high school. So this is really focused on high school socialization. And I came to the conclusion that high schoolers are among the worst people on earth, deserving of all of the tortures that Abu Ghraib has to offer. And
I don't think you're wrong.
Frankly, no, I'm not. I know I'm not. I will defend this to the death. They're awful people. And one of the main things you do as you graduate from high school and then move on is note all the ways you're not like you were in high school and that life isn't like that. And when you find people who are quote unquote stuck in high school, they're worthy of derision and mockery. And so I think we really overvalue late stage socialization, homeschooling, in the public school system, because the public school hierarchy of high school is garbage and it's mocked in every single element of our culture over and over again. And no one wants to return to high school except like the 2 people who are on top of the social ladder, and everyone else is just chaff, right? Yeah. So I really I think we have an automatic response to homeschooling. And it's based on biases and prejudices that were developed 30 and 40 years ago. But modern homeschooling is so much different. The other thing we had that was really cool was a homeschool co-op, which is a group of families. And ours was huge. It was, 100?
No. When we started,
yeah,
there was maybe 20 families, maybe.
Right. But it ballooned
By the
up.
time we left, there was...
It was over 100.
Yeah, I was going to say, if not 100, close to 100 families. And multiple
Yeah,
children.
I don't know if you guys
Family.
understand what 100 homeschool families is, but that's
That's a lot.
22,000 kids.
Elijah,
Because they each
And they're
have
all-
15
Benjamin.
kids.
They're all
Micah.
named after Old Testament prophets too.
I love it.
No, that was our soccer
Jeremiah,
game. That was our
Josiah,
joke.
Jedediah.
Mhm.
But But no, so they-
Jeremiah, Isaiah, Elijah.
I think-
so they were socialized in that way too. It was ours were socialized heavily.
So
Irish.
Nick, I wanted to ask you though, why you became a lawyer in the first place. Every lawyer's got sort of a story as to why they became a lawyer, and I don't know if I've
Ever
ever heard
since-
yours.
Ever since I was 2, I hated the United States government. Well, that is true. No, that's not why. Really, it's like the worst reason to become a lawyer. I worked in brokerage services. I worked in brokerage services prior to becoming a lawyer, but we moved out to the middle of the country, or right? And I worked in downtown Minneapolis prior to that, and so I helped champion the telecommuting program for brokerage services, and they kind of did a test run with a couple of employees, and I was on that, and I was telecommuting for about 8 months, 10 months, something like that after we moved. And then they said, we have a FINRA and an SEC audit, and they weren't really comfortable with the accessibility to client data being off site at the time. So this would have been 2010-ish.
They didn't
Yeah,
know
it would've been
about
about-
data farms. They didn't like
It
that.
was just they didn't.
It's a
the-
security problem.
The brokerage services program at the time, they developed this work from home thing, but it was kind of haphazard. I mean, I basically just had a laptop, and it had a rotating security lock where every 6 weeks I had to go into the office and have and update my password physically there. But other than that, there wasn't really any security
like
to it.
Or VPN or anything like that.
Yeah, and I don't know if they had encryption and or anything. And then one of my direct managers had this kind of really paranoid idea that my home office, which they never came to inspect, might fail some sort of OSHA standard. Like he literally is telling me, he's like, look, I don't know if you have like power cables and stuff going across your floor. I'm like, are you serious? Like, what do you think I'm doing? Like, just running extension cords under my rolling chair because it's fun? And he's like, and I don't know if you're attending meetings like just in your underwear or something. I'm like, yeah, obviously I am. Look, I'll ease
Everybody
your
was.
mind.
Why is that a question?
Yeah, I'll ease your mind on this. I am not wearing clothes when we're in the meeting, but I don't have a camera on. Like, what do you want from me? These were phone conference meetings,
Yeah.
and so
Nobody had pants in the job description when I took this job.
Right.
didn't
They
have
talked
pants
about wearing a
in
nice
2000.
shirt. It didn't say anything about pants. But no, so they had those concerns, and they said, look, until this audit is over and we round out the program, you either need to come into the office every day, which they were more than they loved having me as an employee, but it was come into the office every day or do something else. And so I said, that's a 2-hour commute each way. I'm not going to do without traffic. I'm not going to do that at all. So thank you. They wish me well. I got, I could have had a letter of recommendation for any job, but out here, the problem I ran into was everything was front-facing retail, which I have no qualms with. I've done front-facing retail for a while. Other people are better at it than me. I was
I could
very
see that.
happy.
I feel
Yeah, I
like
was very
you'd
happy.
be difficult in customer service, face to face.
Sometimes, yeah. But I do very well in back office things. At my prior job, I had written all their training manuals once they because we moved to a new system. So I helped them develop the new processes, the standard operating procedures, and I wrote all the training manuals for my division. I'm very good at that sort of thing, becoming efficient, finding good patterns to work through. I'm not tolerant enough to be, at the cash register or doing customer service. And I'm not a manager at all. I'm like, just do your job, you loser, like figure it out. So I'm not great at that either. And so I'm probably better at it now. I didn't know what to do. There wasn't a lot out here, and where we are is very like stereotypical small town. It is predominantly populated by a couple major families on the commercial side, and you know their names. And I don't have a name like that, and neither did Lady Rackets. And so there was no nepotism to rely on. And I went, you know what you can do anywhere, and whether you have a boss or not, you can be a lawyer. I like laws and rules and regulations, I guess.
Didn't someone else take the bar?
It was the LSAT.
The LSAT, that's what it was.
The-
I was going to say,
Don't-
you have to.
You have to highlight my pettiness.
No.
She's your
What-
wife.
Like if this fucker can pass
It's
the
so good.
pass the LSATs, then I can.
Scott Jensen.
So
I worked
Ginger.
with his son. His son was a good
Oh,
buddy of mine
that's
at
cool.
work, and he took the LSAT. And I was like, "Oh yeah, how'd you score?" And he told me his score.
Well, tell us. You have to tell
We're not
us.
gonna. I'm not gonna
Come
dox
on.
his score, and I
No.
consequently can't tell you my score because I don't want to reveal his.
I
But
want
I
to
said-
know everyone's score.
I said I bet I can beat you at the LSAT.
I bet you did.
I
Did
think
you?
it was, I can definitely beat you.
Yeah,
I don't think there was a make.
and I did by 1 point. By
Nice.
one
By 1
point,
point.
I beat him at the LSAT.
Hey, that's
And I
still
had-
good.
At that time, I had no interest in going to law school. I took that while I was still there in the Twin Cities. We hadn't moved yet. But then when, it came up to your LSAT's good for a couple years. And so when it was time then to find a new thing, and I wasn't able to find like a new job, I decided to go to law school because I had the LSAT score and I could get in. And it put me in the top quartile at William Mitchell. And so I got into William Mitchell, and I got a 30% scholarship based entirely on my LSAT because it was not based on my college grades, college GPA.
What was your
So-
undergrad in?
My undergrad is in literature and creative writing,
Okay,
Aw.
that seems
which is
appropriate.
it's a good major, honestly, for law. You do a lot of writing already. And I think that's one of the weaknesses of other majors is they're not prepared for how much writing you have to do in law school. My contracts professor was just he was like an unforgiving artifact of the old times or whatever. And so he
Oh, yeah.
he always expected everyone to have read everything. And if you didn't read, he would attempt at least to humiliate you in front of the class because he would just call on people randomly. And he would just he wouldn't mark you down or anything. He'd just berate you, which is funny.
We appreciate everyone in chat being kind and respectful, and we love our special guests. And I do have a question because the happy couple. I'm dying to know, how did you two meet?
We met in college, very early in my freshman year. His, I don't know, many years.
Listen, we don't talk about. I went to college for a long time.
His
Just kidding.
eighth senior
Van-
year.
The Van
No.
Wilder program. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it was your second year there, wasn't it?
Yeah, which is my
But
third
you had
third
gone a
year.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so his third year of college, my first year of college, like the first week, I was a cheerleader in high school, and I wanted to do it in college as well. So that was like the first thing that I found was the cheerleading team. And
The greatest, most accomplished competition cheerleading
shut up.
squad of all time.
We had a great time. Isn't that always like,
We had a blast.
We had-
It was really fun.
Oh, that's cute.
no, anyway, yeah, Doug, you're jumping ahead though.
Sorry, yeah. You had a good time.
I had a good time. No, anyway, so cheerleading tryouts were held in the dance studio because the dance studio is just where you do all cool things in college. Just
I was gonna say because they had gymnastics mats there as well.
That's true.
The
That
could
is
be
the
rolled
reason that we did there. But
Wrestling
and
match.
mirrors, full line of mirrors was helpful. But anyway, so I was at cheerleading tryouts. I had already made the team, but I was like helping with the new people coming in, and I saw Nick out in the hallway. And
How did you already make the team if tryouts were that day? Like you'd already
She
tried
was
out?
yeah, I
This
tried,
is a really high.
Everybody else.
I tried out ahead of time.
It's
I
like,
thought you knew that.
how'd you try out ahead of time?
I contacted the then coach. No, not coach, the captain. Who,
Shyla?
yes. I'm not gonna say her name.
We're not going to say her last name.
Okay. That wasn't her how you pronounce her name either.
No, see,
But
no one will
okay,
figure it out.
anyway. I contacted her. She had me try out early and I was on
Okay,
sorry.
now
Anyway,
that you mentioned that, I do vaguely remember that.
so I went out in the hallway to get more people for tryouts, and I saw Nick. And so I said, "Are you here for cheerleading tryouts? Because why else would anybody be in the hallway during cheerleading tryouts?"
No, I'm just
Because
here
you
to
wanted to
watch
look at the
them.
lady ladies.
Exactly.
Cheerleaders.
The creepies. So anyway, so he's
That's-
like, "Hell no, I'm here to hit people." And he was there to go to Taekwondo, which was next. They had the dance studio the next hour after we were done. And so they had come early so they could spar and hit each other and practice skills and whatnot. So he was there for that. And so I told him, and they were looking for more members for some reason. You're always looking for more members, aren't you?
Right, but we love members. Very member friendly.
Very member friendly.
Also, we were looking for women.
Well, yeah, that's probably
That's-
more.
I
what it
mean,
is. So I
women
made
members,
a deal with him.
Anonymous. Yeah.
Yes, I told him for as many guys as he got to join cheerleading, I would get that many cheerleaders, girls, to join Taekwondo, so they would have their women and their members. Hey, it works
And
out.
women and
And
members
we would
go well
have
together.
men,
That's
so we could
the whole
throw
thing.
better stunts. So
Oh,
Nick
right.
and 3 other men joined cheerleading, and myself. Yeah, myself and 3 other girls joined
I have a whole
Taekwondo.
new respect.
So
for
we
you.
had this
That's hot.
overlap.
And this is
a
like your
type-
freshman year of
Taekwondo too.
college. Is that correct?
Yes, in college.
For her, it was her freshman year. It was for mine.
yeah.
It was. I mean, it was. I went to a year of community college first, and that was completely useless. So it was like my sophomore and a half year by that time.
What I want to know is when Lady Rekieta
Wendy,
is
you're
getting her own
wonderful.
channel with Wendy now, and a little team up channel.
Right? Lady Rackets and I need to do something fun. Cool. We could do fun.
Oh, we could have fun.
Girl, do you like 90 Day
sure.
Fiance and those kind of girl? Or you probably don't like all that junk food TV. I like junk food TV.
Shut up. Shut up.
I said anything.
Yeah. I have I mean, I like pretty much anything, but I have a special gift, a place in my heart for Star Trek.
Really?
Girl.
Yeah.
Old
Like
school
it's-
or
Wait. Yeah, I was gonna say, are we
All
talking
of
Next
it.
Generation
All of
or the
it.
original?
No,
You like
like
Deep
it's
Space? You like
bad.
Deep Space?
Wait, what?
Every-
Okay, listen to me. Listen to me.
She hot. I'm
I
excited.
have looked up online the best way to watch Star Trek chronologically because I am a story gal and I want to watch from beginning to end. And I literally will start with Star Trek Enterprise. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Really?
it happens.
Mama, yes.
I will start there.
Bacula.
I will jump into Discovery for a couple seasons, not the future seasons
They're
because
so
those are in the future. Okay. Yeah. They take place later. Yeah. No, you have to take place in the story in the
Okay.
year, like, yeah. Anyway. Yeah. The
Your
original,
kids are really lucky to
the
have you as their
animated.
Okay, so what are your
Well,
thoughts then on the
some of
movies?
them really like it.
The new movies, the sort of the I don't
You
want to
know-
call them remakes, but you know what I'm talking about.
No, they're not remakes. It's the Kelvin.
The Calvin universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah. So
that's-
what are your
that's
thoughts
how
on those?
embarrassing this is. We
Apologize.
Oh,
I
do-
like them
we
actually.
do a
I have a
Star-
hard time. I have a hard time not finding something that I like in all of them.
I thought you were going to say finding Chris Pine attractive, because that's
Well,
my
I mean,
problem. I cannot.
obviously.
I have a
Oh,
problem not finding Chris Pine attractive.
Yeah, Chris Pine is fun to look at. I could look
I'm
at
a
Chris
Captain
Pine,
Kirk,
but
yeah. Actually, I'm a Leonard Nimoy.
hey, have you seen Strange New Worlds though? Pike,
No.
Captain Pike, Anton,
No.
what's his name?
No, but I'm happy.
Anson Mount.
Anson Mount. Oh, look him up,
Oh, you
babe.
put Anson in front of their
That
name.
is
I'm
a-
there.
So back
He's
when I
so
was
pretty.
And his name is
10.
Mount. Very sexy.
He's so
back-
pretty.
I'm about.
I had to make a choice.
You wanna
if
look
I
him
was going to
up.
be Star Wars
look
or
him up.
Star
I'm
Trek,
looking him
and
up right
I chose Star Wars, which was the better choice, and I never looked back.
You're not wrong.
You
It's
can't be a
all
fan of
right.
both.
You don't-
Forgive you.
You don't want
Oh,
me.
give me
You don't
some
want me to go in
Anson
on
Mount.
Star Wars.
Oh, he's my age too. He's my guy. He's in my age group, so it's not inappropriate. I love it.
His hair gets taller every season,
It
which
really
is why I
does.
respect him.
Every episode.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it really does.
It's so funny. It gets taller and taller. I'm like, what are they doing with his hair?
Okay, wait, who is this?
But I know, isn't he gorgeous? Yeah, zoom in on
Really?
that.
I can't whistle.
Wendy, we found you a date.
And that
You look
gray
close to
hair.
him,
Hook his sister up.
Baby. I know. Yeah,
Lady
he
Rocket,
plays a
you're
real
married, so
nice
you should hook him up
captain.
with-
He's a nice
I love
captain.
it. Ooh,
So do
he's
you watch
good.
Star Trek for the characters or for the story?
She likes the stories.
That actually, it depends on the Star Trek, because actually, like Deep Space Nine, you mentioned Deep Space Nine earlier. My favorite character or relational characters are Jake and Ben Sisko, the dad Ben Sisko,
Okay.
who runs Deep Space
Yeah.
Nine, and his
Commander
teenage
Commander Cisco. He's not even a
He
captain.
becomes a captain later.
I know. Very embarrassing. DEI hires all over the place.
Anyway, him and his son, he's a widower. Ben,
I love
is,
me a
so-
widower.
Yeah, so
I'm
it's
a
like
single
just
lady.
him and his son though, and it's so sweet how they depict their relationship, their father-son like bond, and like you can just see, that he grew up with just the dad. You can tell that they have been together, bonded through some pain, and it's so like my favorite episode. I think my favorite episode is The Visitor.
Gosh, that's a brutal episode.
It's
Ah,
so good. If you're
My
only going to
God.
watch one Deep Space Nine episode, watch The Visitor. I don't remember what season it's in, but
whatever one is the saddest season ever made.
pretty much.
So
It's so beautiful though. It's the most beautiful episode.
there's a chat
So
here
well done.
from Stray that asks if they ever did a Star Wars Star Trek crossover, and I believe once in the comics. And I'm going to look it up right now.
Ooh, so I think
Oh,
that
I
the
didn't
one you're
know.
talking about is the 75th episode
Is
of
it?
The Visitor. I think it's called The Visitor. I believe it's a 75th episode. I'm trying to look it up.
Okay.
October 9th.
It's definitely The
1995.
Visitor, but it's so
Yeah.
good.
It says 1995, October 9th.
October 9th.
Now,
okay.
technically, Earth exists
day.
in the Star Wars universe. There's an episode in one of the comics where Earth is mentioned, and since Star Trek is Earth-based, in theory, there could be, a crossover there. But actually, no, there hasn't.
Earth-based
see.
and red pill.
Yeah, no. So
So-
there hasn't been a comic crossover. But
So are
in
you a
theory,
huge
there
fan
could
of-
be.
Are you a huge fan of that Star Wars girl then?
It's a Star Wars.
I don't
guy.
really.
You
I
know-
haven't
you know
really
how
watched her.
they-
I've watched her a
you
few
know how
times.
they get polarized.
She doesn't talk
these
about
people.
Star Wars much. If she talked
No,
about
no.
Star Wars,
So here's the thing: if you've never been around Anna in person, there is Star Wars girl. Fine, whatever. Who cares? Star Wars is trash. We all know this.
Oh,
Just saying that.
and that's been Nick Rekieta, everybody.
So, but Anna is actually probably more knowledgeable about Star Trek than Star
Really?
Wars. Yeah, and
I was.
we're talking about
listening.
we're-
I had to
we're
let
talking
you
about
call that. I was
Anna-
listening. I was gonna suggest that you should be that Star Wars or that Star Trek girl. Actually,
With regard to Star Trek or Star Wars, Star Trek has the hotter women with those little bodysuits and those tight
100%.
little figures. Star
100%.
Trek is hands down better.
Yeah, because
Don't even come at me about T'Pol. Holy Lord.
Was that the
So
doctor lady?
Paul- That's
Yes.
Enterprise. In
Yeah,
Enterprise,
yeah,
she's
she
the
was
science
hot.
officer.
Her name
Yeah.
is Jolene Balalak. If you want to like
her
see
outfit
her
got
not
tighter and
as an
tighter, I
elf.
think, with each season.
Yeah, it did.
Didn't
Yeah.
it?
Just
I
got
think
done
it.
watching
I
that.
think it actually did.
I think it did.
Yeah.
You got like
Oh, yeah.
smaller and smaller with each season. Yeah,
it's so funny because Princess Leia's outfit was so
that was
demure.
one episode, but you know, over the grand scheme of things, Star Trek has the female form down much better.
so much sexier women in Star Trek.
Yeah, now they're exploring all the other female forms, like round.